Welcome to
Stays Crunchy and Milk.
If you have questions or comments, we have multiple ways we can be reached. Twitter is, of course, the best way for those who need instant gratification, and the show's Twitter feed is at SkimPod, SKIMPOD.
Stays Crunchy.
For the more patient amongst you, the email address for the show is podcast@stayscrunchyandmilk.com. Crunchy again being spelled with a K.
Crunchy.
Hey, feel free to give us a call at 216-264-6311. That's 216-264-6311.
Stays Crunchy and Milk.
We're available by Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher Radio, anywhere fine podcasts are available. And of course, at the website, stayscrunchyandmilk.com. Please rate, review, subscribe, and share wherever possible, including on YouTube, where we can now be found at Stays Crunchy, and over on Twitch, where we're still Stays Crunchy and Milk. Our personal Twitters are
Tatum216,
Lunchbox2099,
The Real ODP.
and I'm your host, the Internet's Tayrell713.
Stays Crunchy. Stays Crunchy. Stays Crunchy. Stays Crunchy. Stays Crunchy. Stays Crunchy.
2 words, Chi-Town, Southside, worldwide, cause I rep that till I fucking die. 1 neck, 2 chains, 1 waist, 2 gas, 1 wall, 20 plex, dues paid, gimme that. I am Limelight, Blueprint, 5 mics, Go-Getters rhyme like, should have been signed twice. Most imitated, Grammy nominated, hotel accommodated, cheerleader prom dated, barbershop player hated, mom and pop bootlegged it. Feel like it rained till the roof caved in. 2 words, Chi-Town, raised me crazy, so I live by 2 words. Fuck you, pay me. Screaming, Jesus, save me. You know how the game be. I can't let them change me. Cause on Judgment Day, you gon' blame me. Look, God, it's the same me. I basically know now we get racially profiled, cuffed up, hosed down, pimped up and hold down. Plus, I got a whole city to hold down from the bottom, so the top's the only place to go now. Hello, and welcome to it. It's Stays Crunchy and Milk, episode 433. And do not start or stop taking us without first asking a doctor. I'm joined by my best friends. It's Tatum216.
That's right.
It's Lunchbox2099.
I pooped before the show and it was pretty good.
And I
How
am
good
the
was it?
I am the Internet Stereo 713. Our missing man today is the real ODP. He had some camper issues that he had to take advantage of. But you know what that means for those who really enjoy that line of reasoning. That means you get another issue of On the Road with the Real ODP, most likely. I refer to them as issues if you are wondering. They are written out in my computer as issues because I like to think of them as comics. And that means you'll get another one of those this week, and that's dope. The one that went up this week, my man and his lady recorded actually on the road, and that was real fun. So dig it because they're actually in motion. They were driving, so I liked the way that one turned out, and it was a real little fun one. So that just means you don't get Gabriel on the live show, but you do get him recorded to, you know what I'm saying, live to tape, as they would say back in the day. But we out here doing the damn thing. It's remote, and so remote rules apply. Some news, some Am I the Asshole, some life stories, and so forth and so on. You know how we roll. Let's hit the ground running with this one. This one, that's the news. Every news item I have this week is shit that tried to smooth take your boy out this earth. It either got me so angry or it just made me just laugh and laugh and laugh that I could have probably died from laughter. This one, kind of a middle between the two. Pastor resigns after incorrectly performing thousands of baptisms. The pastor of a Catholic church in Phoenix changed 1 word in administering the sacrament, rendering baptisms performed there invalid, the church said. It's by Eduardo Medina of the New York Times. The Reverend Andres Arango was leading a baptism at St. Gregory Catholic Church in Phoenix last year when some people in the pews heard a slight variation in the religious ritual. We baptize you in the name of the Father and of the Son and of the Holy Spirit, Father Arango said, his voice echoing in the church as he poured the holy water. But there was a problem. Saying we baptize was incorrect. The Vatican instructs priests to say I baptize, and if it is not said that way, the baptism is deemed invalid. Church leaders investigated and determined last month that Father Arango had incorrectly performed thousands of baptisms over more than 20 years, meaning those he had baptized in Phoenix and that his previous parishes in Brazil and San Diego were not properly baptized. The oversight has caused headaches for those now seeking answers about whether their faulty baptisms have spilled over to other elements of their Catholic faith. For instance, would it affect those who are married by the church? Maybe. Unfortunately, there's no single clear answer, the Diocese of Phoenix answered online. Father Arango, who did not respond to calls on Sunday seeking an interview, apologized in a statement and said he was resigning as pastor of the parish effective February 1st.
Now I get the fuck.
It saddens me to learn that I have performed invalid baptisms throughout my ministry as a priest by regularly using an incorrect formula, he said. I deeply regret my error and how this has affected numerous people in your parish and elsewhere. Thomas J. Olmsted, the bishop of the Diocese of Phoenix, said in a statement that he did not believe Father Arango had any intentions of harm the faithful or deprive them of the grace of the baptism and sacraments. The Catholic News Agency reported on the botched baptisms this month. In the Catholic faith, a baptism is a sacrament in which people, often infants, have water poured over their foreheads, symbolizing purification and admission to the church. It is a requirement for salvation, according to the diocese. Adhering to the baptismal formula is extremely important to continue the tradition of the church, said Naomi Deonda, a professor of religious studies at the University of Dayton in Ohio. If you're wondering where the Ohio connection was going to be drawn here, there you go. It's not meant to be legalistic, but about communion, she said. Indeed, the Diocese of Phoenix addressed the specific rules by creating a FAQ section on its website about the case of Father Arango. Just as a priest should not use milk instead of wine during the consecration of the Eucharist, when the Catholic faith says that the wine becomes the blood of Christ, a priest should not alter the wording of the sacrament of baptism, the diocese said. The milk would not become the blood of Christ, the diocese said, and similarly, a wrongly worded baptism would not purify a person. You know, oh my God, I'm just going to keep going. That upset me very much, just like they're like, that milk wouldn't become the blood of Christ. Well, you know what? That wine don't become the blood of Christ either, you dumbasses. Get the fuck out of here. Come on, man.
Get the fuck out of here.
Sandra Yoakum, a professor of faith and culture at the University of Dayton, said that if a priest said we, it would imply the source of the grace of the baptism came from the community. Wouldn't that be fucking nice? It should come from the community. It should be a church is about community. Whereas saying I will correctly assert that it's God doing the work of grace. Because, through the priest, it's God making your wine into blood and making you, this priest, all of a sudden, I guess, God instead. In baptism, a part of what makes it valid is the words that are used, and so that becomes significant, Ms. Yoakum said. Church officials might have been worried about setting a precedent if they suggested these words are not that important, she said. The Congregation of the Doctrine of Faith, a Vatican organ that interprets doctrine and handles cases of misconduct, replied firmly when asked in 2020 if it was acceptable to use we. Negative, it said. That notice from the Vatican had made some priests wonder if they had been incorrectly baptized themselves. In 2020, the Reverend Matthew Hood of the Archdiocese of Detroit saw a video of his own childhood baptism and realized the deacon had said, we. Father Hood, as well as others, were baptized by that deacon from 86 to 99, had to be properly baptized. In Oklahoma City, the Reverend Zachary Bozeman also saw a video of his childhood baptism and realized in September 2020 that the same thing had happened to him too. It's very hard to gauge how often this happens, Dr. Yoakum said. Father Arango remains a priest in good standing and is still living and serving in the Diocese of Phoenix, Katie Burke, a spokeswoman for the diocese, said. His voluntary resignation allows him to dedicate his full-time ministry to helping and healing the families who are affected by this error, Mrs. Burke said. Some members of St. Gregory Catholic Church, however, had wanted him to remain their priest, and a petition was circulated to keep Father Arango at the church as the church's pastor. Rather than giving Father Andres the opportunity to stay at St. Gregory and rectify the situation, the petition said he is being removed from the community that loves and cares for him. A video shows dozens of people attending a farewell celebration for Father Arango in January. In his letter to parishioners, he wrote, I sincerely apologize for any inconvenience my actions have caused and genuinely ask for your prayers, forgiveness, and understanding. You see the cascading effect of shit like this? Because as it turns out,
my man get to clap cheeks now. So
no, because he's still considered a priest. He is simply not the pastor of that church anymore. He didn't leave the faith. Nigga like me would have. I would have had to get the fuck about it. I'm like, yeah, bruh, everything about that shit sounds so dumb to me. It's like we actually seems to, in my opinion, would be, yeah, that's exactly what faith and church used to be for. It was community. And this community is saying, we baptize you, and I think that is more spiritually accurate. It's wild to me that, of course, the church is like, nah, man, because I am some representative of God.
Can make the rain sky blue. I can make it rain wherever I wanted to. Oh, I. Make disaster with a single grain of sand.
I can make a ship sail on dry land. I don't know, man. Can't call it. It was upsetting. And we'll move to the next one. This is one, like I said, told you, like I said, these are stories that try to smooth take your mans out. It's from good people over the scene. It's by Vince, won't tell me his last name, so fuck that guy. And the headline is as follows. After 45 years in prison, 45 years. Cleveland man found innocent in retrial for wife's 1974 murder. Sues Cleveland police for withholding evidence. Isaiah Andrews, the Cleveland man who last year was found innocent in a new trial over his wife's 1974 murder, which was ordered by an appeals court after evidence withheld by Cleveland police during the original trial was discovered by the Ohio Innocence Project, has filed a civil rights lawsuit against the city of Cleveland and 10 officers. Andrews has maintained his innocence since day one, but spent 45 years in prison for the murder he didn't commit before a jury unanimously found him not guilty in last year's trial. His path to freedom has been a long and twisted one. His lawyers in 2018 sought a court order to test samples collected from the body of Regina Andrews, fingernail scrapings, and vaginal swabs with DNA technology not available at the time of the trial. She was found near Forest Hills Park, wrapped in bedsheets, brutally stabbed, with her nightgown pushed up around her waist, indicating a sexual assault. Isaiah Andrews had told police he'd been out all day on September 18th, 1974, running errands and selling clothes, and returned to the hotel room just east of downtown he shared with his wife to find her missing. In communication with the Cuyahoga County Coroner's Office, in the aftermath of that request, the Ohio Innocence Project discovered the officers' files on the case included Cleveland police reports and narratives pointing toward a separate suspect named Willie Watts, who had been in the area where Andrews' body was found wrapped in hotel linens in Forest Hills Park, and who had been in the Howard Johnson Hotel the night before in a room that was missing its linens the next day. Jesus Christ, wow. This was never disclosed to Andrews' lawyers at the time. Once his new lawyers found the evidence, they also discovered that Watts went on to accumulate a criminal record littered with violence against women. No physical evidence, meanwhile, tied Andrews to the crime, and he was convicted on the basis of shaky eyewitness testimony from a maid and short-term tenant of the motel where the couple had been staying after getting married 3 weeks earlier. He deserves an acknowledgement from the government actors who put him in prison for decades that what happened to him was wrong. One of his attorneys, Sarah Gelsomino, told Channel 5. Brian Howe of the Ohio Innocence Project added, I can't think of a more egregious case of covering up evidence of innocence in any case I've worked on. They locked that man up for 45 years for a crime he didn't commit, and they had evidence to the contrary of it. Police don't solve crimes. We say it a lot. I guess we got to say that shit more often than not. Police protect property. That's basically what they do. And in this case, they made a point to get a man locked up for a crime he certainly didn't commit. I guess, I don't even know why. Because if they had the other dude nearby, they could have went ahead and just arrested him, and they still could have presented a trial and got an arrest taken care of. So what is about this dude that made you say, the hotel maid said she might have seen him? Shocking. The picture they have on this report, on this particular article, is also upsetting because Isaiah seated in the picture with fellow exonerees because there have been multiple exonerees. Rue L. Saylor, Charles Jackson, Laurice Glover, who all served 15, 27.5, and 20 years respectively for crimes they did not commit. It's a sin and a goddamn shame that this has to keep happening. And like I said, this country is in need of some change, and we will see what that change will be.
Not only this country, but Ohio is especially egregious because we're one of the only states where if somebody like gets their sentence overturned, we don't give them money for it.
Yeah,
like
which is why this person is forced to go to sue them.
Yeah, it's pretty messed up. Like that person should be given his livelihood back, or just be paid for the time he unjustly had to serve. And Ohio is one of those states where you don't get shit. And it was like, just off the top of my head, I know about 5 or 6. Like, if you go to like Death Row Stories, I believe it's like on HBO Max now, but like 5 or 6 of those fucking episodes are in Ohio.
All right. All right. Once again, Strong Island, as we keep going. This is from BBC World News. Again, you know they don't give bylines, so this is just from them as a news organization. Texas Christian school officials arrested after concealing locker room assault. The Midland school superintendent and secondary school principal were among those arrested. 5 senior administrators at a Christian school in Texas have been charged with failing to report a sexual assault said to have taken place in baseball locker rooms. A student athlete was allegedly assaulted after practice as part of a freshman initiation day. Staff from the Midland Christian School said they would cooperate with officers over the alleged hazing, but then refused to answer questions, instead telling police to get warrants. A statement from the school said it was grateful for the support and prayers of parents and that it vowed to continue leading, building, and equipping for Christ.
Wow.
The school superintendent and secondary school principal were among those arrested. All 5 were bailed out on Wednesday. According to court documents, the accused are Superintendent Jared Owen Lee, 41, secondary school principal Dana Elizabeth Ellis, 42, vice principal of the secondary school Matthew David Counts, 27, athletic director Neil McClendon, 55, and head baseball coach Barry Lee Russell, 62. Police have confirmed a juvenile has also been arrested. While associated in the past usually with college fraternizing, hazing also happens in schools. Groups of students band together to harass, humiliate, or intimidate another person. Court documents indicate the 5 educators knew about the incident soon after it took place in mid to late January, but were instructed to investigate on their own without contacting police. Midland police were made aware of on 28 January, for their English, and interviewed the victim last Friday. When they first visited the school, Principal Ellis said that she knew of an incident, but could provide no documentation. When they returned with the warrants on Monday, they found emails between the coaches and administrators, as well as complaints about the alleged failure to report the assault. Jason Stockstill, president of the school board of trustees, confirmed the suspects had been notified of an alleged hazing incident involving some of the our student athletes. The results in school disciplinary action before school police contacted them. He said qualified acting administrators would take over while the investigation was underway. We appreciate the support and prayers of the Midland Christian parents, faculty, staff, and students as we continue leading, building, and equipping for Christ, his statement concludes. The 5 administrators each face 1 count of failure to report with the intent to conceal, neglect, or abuse. If convicted, they can face up to 2 years in prison and fines of $10,000, 7,339 pounds. Just in case you want the translation there. How does one continue to lead, build, and equip for this Christ they seem to love so very much, whilst covering up sexual assaults of children?
Yeah. Man, I just don't understand. Like, it always seems like the children are supposed to be the world's number one priority. The world's, everybody. Like, if a child is in trouble, we help that child. That's it. Nothing else to say.
If it has not come out, and so I don't want to make leaps, but I would not doubt that this is a regular occurrence at that school, probably of all sports, and that these adults are all aware of it. And this time it was so egregious and or heinous that somebody's mama or daddy was like, we got to go talk to one times. We got to go talk to ops and see if they're going to do anything about it. And graciously so, the police seem to be going to be investigating the matter. And we hope good will come of that. That don't fix the problem. It don't make it better. It don't make this person who was assaulted feel, like they didn't get whatever happened to them. Yeah, so.
Yeah, if this is the same story, I believe, like, the mother came up to the school, like, before she went to the police, like, hey, what the fuck is going on? Y'all, a student assaulted my son, and I had to hear about it from my son before it came from you.
Yeah.
What's going on? He was like, well, I'm not at liberty to talk about it.
It's like, okay.
He said it's an ongoing investigation. I can't talk about it. But it was my son it happened to. Why can't you talk about it?
Yeah, if anybody should be able to hear about it, it should be me.
Yes.
And
I mean, because you don't have to say, like, hey, Jimmy grabbed your son's dick. You don't have to say that. All you got to do is say, like, your son was grabbed inappropriately by another student, and we're allegedly. You can even say allegedly, and we're investigating. You don't have to say anybody else's name. You just have to investigate it, and at least let somebody know. But that's not the way.
You got to tell a teacher you trust.
Yeah.
Yes.
Aren't you? Tell a teacher you trust, and the results are that same teacher sweeps it under the rug.
We didn't do it. It was the Lord.
Whew. Last one. And this is from PBS NewsHour, but it's actually from the Associated Press, and that's Michael Letke is the person who wrote this story. California sues Tesla for alleged discrimination, racial slurs at plant. San Ramon, California regulators have sued Tesla Inc., alleging the electric car maker has been discriminating against black employees who have been likened to monkeys and slaves at the San Francisco Bay Area factory where most of its trendy vehicles are made. The explosive lawsuit seems likely to widen the rift between Tesla CEO Elon Musk, the world's wealthiest person, and the state where he launched the company. Tesla is now worth more than $900 billion, less than 20 years after Musk set out to transform the auto industry. Musk moved Tesla's headquarters from Palo Alto, California to Austin, Texas last year after publicly feuding with California officials over whether Tesla's factory should remain shut down during the spring of 2020 while the coronavirus pandemic was still in its early stages. The 39-page lawsuit filed late Wednesday in Alameda County Superior Court by California's Department of Fair Employment and Housing frames Tesla's move to Texas as an attempt to evade accountability for turning a blind eye to years of complaints from black workers whose protest commonplace use of racial slurs on the assembly line. In response to the complaints, the lawsuit alleges Musk has told workers to be thick-skinned about racial harassment, contributed to the culture that's slow to clean up racist graffiti and other hateful symbols scrawled around the factory. Besides the N-word and other racist language used in the factory, including
Hold on. Did you just say it's just like random, like nigger, just randomly on the wall in the factory?
Besides the N-word,
wow.
Other racist language used in the factory include descriptions that liken black workers to a porch monkey.
Oh, I was right.
And hood rats.
Oh.
And suggests that they go back to Africa, according to the lawsuit. The company also alleges the factory was racially segregated, resulting in an area where black workers labored to be derided as the slave ship or the plantation. Before news of the lawsuit broke, Tesla preemptively posted a statement on its website lashing out at what it called an unfair and counterproductive lawsuit. The company asserted that the agency has been asked on nearly 50 occasions during the past 5 years to look into allegations of discrimination and harassment, and closed each investigation without finding any evidence of misconduct. It therefore strains credibility for the agency to now allege, after a 3-year investigation, that systemic racial discrimination and harassment somehow exists at Tesla, the company wrote, while trying to frame the lawsuit as a publicity stunt. The allegations against Tesla resulted from a 32-month investigation into its discriminatory practices, according to the lawsuit. The complaint seeks back pay for black employees who were unfairly bypassed for promotion and raises, reinstatements of workers who lost their jobs for discriminatory reasons, and punitive damages. Musk, who frequently takes to his Twitter account with 73 million followers to comment about issues affecting Tesla, hasn't posted anything about the discrimination lawsuit as of late Thursday. This isn't the first time that Tesla's treatment of the roughly 15,000 employees at its Fremont, California factory have come under scrutiny. The factory, located 40 miles southeast of San Francisco, remains Tesla's biggest manufacturer of electric cars, even as the company has opened additional plants, including a new one in Texas. Last October, a federal jury awarded $137 million in damages to a former black elevator operator who had alleged that he faced daily racist slurs and other forms of harassment while working at the Fremont plant in 2015 and 2016 before quitting. Tesla is appealing that verdict and has denied any knowledge of racist conduct that the former elevator operator Owen Diaz said took place at the plant. And then, more than half a dozen current and former Tesla employees filed another lawsuit alleging the company didn't take adequate steps to protect them against sexual harassment. Tesla is seeking to shift those complaints into arbitration. David Lowe, one of the lawyers representing the woman accusing Tesla of sexual harassment, called the latest lawsuit a glaring example of an incredibly toxic culture and environment that many of these employees are working in. One that seems counter to its reputation as a company on the cutting edge of technology. Tesla is so advanced on one level, Lowe said, and yet when it comes to how its workers are treated and the racial harassment and sexual harassment, it's almost like a company from a different era. They're so far behind the curve in how they treat their workers. About 10% of Tesla's U.S. employees are black. 21% are women, according to the company's latest employment breakdown.
I guess they just need to move to Ohio where racism is okay.
Well, they moved to Texas where racism is okay.
Is even more okay, yeah.
Yeah, so. I don't know. A big glow in the dark fuck you to Tesla. To say friend goes too far. An Instagram mutual of mine on their story this morning posted that they were about to buy a Tesla, and I immediately sent them that story and was like, "You don't want to do that." And why don't I want to do that? Because they're married to a black man and have a black child, and I was like, you don't want to do that. And it's relatively easy. That man hoards wealth like a goddamn old school dragon, and is seems to be an all around shitty individual, and his company seems to be shitty as well. But of course, it's one of the most wealthy companies on the planet, and there you go. That's what you get from that. When motherfuckers are making money, they'll look past and through every motherfucking thing. So, multiple lawsuits from multiple people, but no, we ain't racist. There's no proof of racism. Okay, guy. Sure. I mean, do you think not to be whatever, but do you truly think that the state of California doesn't have photographic evidence? Probably has recordings. Like, they don't make suits like this to make suits like this. It comes through like this when they just did the same thing to Activision Blizzard. The state of California brought a workplace lawsuit against them for all kinds of sexual harassment and shit like that there. And trust me when I tell you, they have the proof to back it up. Why pretend? Just see what you can do to make it better and see what you can come to terms. You got the money, might as well just do it. But of course, if you do that, your stock goes down and so forth and so on. And well, can't do that. Can't make shareholders
so
fuck
long
themselves.
fake thugs can pretend.
We'll go with that. That was your news for the week. As you can see, like I said, it was a week of stories that had me all kinds of like, oh, this was hot in the streets. But
in the words of Homer Simpson, are you ready to laugh?
I slide over to my man Ant. First up, as always, is Tatum, bruh. Do you have something to make us laugh, or do you have something else you want to discuss?
Discuss. Let's laugh. Maybe. Time now. So it was a couple things. The first couple things you guys really don't got to comment on. But a couple things I was rolling around in the old noggin the last couple days. One, this has been, me and my partner were just talking about it just the other day. Before we got in bed, I just thought like, man, did we mess up by having children so, not like very late in life, but later in life? I'm 40 now. She's another age. None of your business. And I was thinking like, man, because I asked first, I was like, do you have any friends who had kids early and now their kids are like pretty much damn near grown? She's like, yeah. And I'm like, man, because I remember, was I in? Shit. I think I was in 8th grade. And now, yes, this is terrible. And one of the young ladies had a baby. That baby is good and grown now. I was in 8th grade like fucking 30 years ago. Well, like,
didn't
like 28 years ago, something like that, huh?
Didn't I send you guys the video like yesterday or the day before of like the 32-year-old woman standing next to her 16-year-old
son? Yeah, that was part of what made me think of it. So I'm thinking like, yes, in some cases, because it might be a perfect situation for somebody. I don't know who, but in some cases, yes, this is bad. But let's look at some of the positives around it. One, when I was younger, I think I was probably more patient. I was more likely to probably listen and hear out what my children was probably would say or had thoughts about. I kind of feel like we would be both growing together in a certain aspect of things. Also, my mother was younger, and yet again, my mother probably would be more willing to help me. You'll have more of a community willing to help you and the child when you're younger, in my opinion. So, like, just for example, if I would have had a child at 18, my grandmother was still alive. My mother was very much still alive. And my mother's still alive now. Like, my brother was still alive. I had like 3 uncles living at my house at that time. Like, I would have had a larger community to help out with that child. Like, I had a next door neighbor who was damn near my grandfather. Like, Buddy, like, took care of me up until I looked out for me forever. You know, I remember when he was sick, I had no problem carrying him to his bed when he couldn't get there for himself. Like, when I was 18, he was still running around kicking it, drinking Milwaukee's Best every day. So yes, teenage people should probably focus on their future life. I totally agree. But in some cases, having a teenage baby might not be the worst thing in the world. Cause now, like, I'm 40, man, shit, I could be done raising kids. I could be out kicking and doing some more shit now. But no, I'm swiping asses. I'm making two types of dinner every day. I'm
I mean, there's two ways to look at it. Like, yeah, you could be done now, but like you really wouldn't be done right now because it never ends, right? Like, you might not be wiping asses, but you might be answering like 10 p.m. phone calls of like, Dad, I need help with this or whatever. Like the mission will never be over. And plus, like,
yes.
I think it's easier to like have fun and explore and make mistakes when you're younger than when you're older because people like you get kind of set in your ways and like mistakes are a little more costly depending on what they are, and it's also like you get tired quicker, man. Like I don't have like the desire or the energy to be doing some of the same shit I was doing 10 years ago.
That's what I'm saying. Like, man, I should have had kids 20 years ago, Lunch.
But if you had kids, you wouldn't be like able to do a lot of that shit because you would have been having to raise your kid. Like I understand you'd have help, but like it's
I would
not
have.
like you could.
I would have had help. I'd have had more energy. I'd have had. I mean, I don't know. Maybe and other thing. One other thing I didn't mention. Maybe I would have had a better drive to push myself along in life to do other things.
I mean, like
Kids are a motivator.
As long as someone has the help, it would be easier. But like, look at me. My mom was 16 when she had me, and my parents didn't even have custody of me. Like, my mom's never had custody of me my entire life. My dad had custody of me when I was in
16?
8th grade on.
Okay.
So when I turned 13.
Excuse me.
Because my grandmother's, the hospital she worked at closed, and I needed health insurance, so I went under my dad's health insurance. But in order to do that, he had to have custody of me. So even though I still lived with my grandmother for like another 2 years, my dad technically had custody of me when I was like around 13. But like, my grandmother had custody of me, and I bounced around. Like, one day I'm at this grandma's house, and the next day I'm at my other grandmother's house, and then on the weekends I'm at my dad's house. Like, I didn't have structure. It made my life more chaotic.
You didn't have structure, but as you told us, I didn't know you back then. I wish I did. You were and still are one of the most level-headed children out of all the sets of children, and probably the most well off, if I'm not mistaken.
It's funny. We actually had this conversation when I went over to my dad's a couple weeks ago for a belated Christmas, and I explained it to them that it's a double-edged sword. Like, yes, I grew up more responsible, but I also grew up quicker, and I felt like I lost out on some childhood that other people got to enjoy because I had to grow up quicker. So, like, now as an adult, I'm more responsible with my finances and getting whatever needs done in a timely manner. But I missed out on some of the fucking around as a kid because I had to watch my siblings or I had to do chores or whatever the case may be. Like, I didn't have like all those like I don't know what to call it, like childhood adventures, I guess. Like I did some of that shit sometimes, but it was like I had a lot more responsibilities than the average like 12-year-old has.
So, but do you truly feel like you missed out on that?
I feel like it's hard to say, not knowing that I went through it, but I can tell you that what I went through left me with some kind of bitterness that I held on to for a long time. And it was part of the reason why I moved out of my dad's house to begin with, which I told my stepmom when she dropped me off in my car that night, that she didn't know exactly why I left, and I explained it to her. But let me put it this way. Senior year of high school, right? I had a full class load every year of high school. I never had a study hall. Like, the only break I ever had was my lunch break. Senior year, I only needed 2 classes to graduate when going into senior year. I needed a full year's worth of English, and I needed 1 semester of government because government wasn't a full year class. That was all I needed to graduate high school in my senior year. So I had like I had like a team sports class and I had a couple cooking classes and, random shit to fill the day. But I still never took a study hall. I did, however, have early dismissal. Now, instead of getting to like leave school early and go like have fun or work a job or whatever, I instead had to walk from my high school to the mall area to wait out on a hill for 45 minutes every day for my brother to get out of school so then I can walk him home from his school, all the way back, like the mile and a half back to the house. So, like, I didn't get to, like, have early dismissal and go and enjoy it like a lot of other people might have. I instead had to go waste my time waiting on a sibling to get out of class and then walk him home.
It's oddly enough something they seem to always force on the older sibling. Vanessa oftentimes tells me stories about her role being the oldest of four, and I'm sure I can tell you that my sister is as much my mother as my mother's my mother, and that's no disrespect to Annie Pearl, but it's just my mama had to work. My mom was a single mom, and so she had to work. Therefore, my older sister was who ran the operation. You know what I'm saying? And that's just what it is. And it's like, and that stinks because, like I said, the older sibling don't ever, not all, I'm probably not always. I try, in my house, I try to be very, I try not to have to put stuff on Xander's shoulders too much with helping with his sister. You know what I'm saying? I try to be very present in their lives, and that's even before their mother passed away. But since then, I'm just like, I got to be here because they I am needed. I am so forth and so on. And so I've tried to be better about that. But Vanessa would tell you that I am harder on Xander than I am on Lee. I would tell you that I would argue against that truly because I know what it is. It ebbs and flows. Some days it's like I have to be like, yo, go do this and this to Xander. Some days I have to be like that to Lee. It's just, it may not be always the same. And I'm not saying that I treat them evenly because some days it's that, some days it's 60-40 one way, some days it's 60-40 the other way. Because that's just what it is to be a parent. It is kind of, it is its own, trauma and tragedy that so much was taken from you, Dan. You know what I'm saying? When you tell stories about your childhood, that I get where the, how much suck comes from that. Ant-Man,
it's like you lose a little bit of your freedom to grow on your own terms because you get pigeonholed into this like adult that you're not.
Yeah.
And like it becomes unfair too with you and your siblings because like you end up having to do shit that the people behind you probably won't have to do because like the majority of the time there's no one coming up behind them that's going to need the same treatment that you're having to give to them. Yeah. Because they're already in the back of the line. So either like by the time they're older, like the responsibilities don't exist, or like they're not needed anymore.
Also, it takes away from your sibling relationship. It puts you into a parental position. You know what I'm saying? So you don't get to have a good like, yo, that's my big brother, and we played whatever together, so on and so on. It's oftentimes like, oh, that's the guy who runs the house when the other two ain't here. You know what I'm saying? It's like you kind of become like a nanny or whatever. You know what I'm saying? That kind of.
And that was what I felt like. I felt like I was like the fucking help. Like I don't want to say like Cinderella because they weren't treating me like shit, but like it's like I would have to be the one taking the trash out every week, and I was always the one doing the dishes. And when it came time to clean the house, it was like my sisters always just cleaned their room because they would make it a mess, and while the rest of us had to clean the house, which I ended up doing the majority of that too. And then it's like I had to rake the leaves to the tree lawn for the collection every year, and I had to cut the grass and scoop the dog poop. And I was like, I'm looking around, I'm like, there's so many other hands here, and I'm the only one like really consistently doing anything.
Yeah.
And on top of that, it's like I got to go pick you guys up from school, and sometimes I got to help cook. And, it's like, I'm like the one doing my own laundry at that point because that was one of the first things I got taught when I got moved into that house was to do my own laundry. And I'm waking myself up from school and walking myself to and from school every day because no one ever gave me a ride. And
Yeah.
it's like I was like this fucking self-sufficient adult when I should have been a teenager.
Yes, assuredly. That was it. Should have been your time. Like I said, it's why. Again, like I said, literally got into a fight about this earlier tonight, and so I'm okay to speak about it in my mind because it's real. I'm very much. I was always like for some. You've met my brother. You know how my brother roll. And because of that, I have my own little weird foibles on directions of how I had to be, how things have to run. In my mind, how I remember things was T had to do a lot of shit when he was younger, and because of that, I don't put a lot of shit on my kids' shoulders. You know what I'm saying? I make it a point to do like I said, I don't really trip about them cleaning their rooms. So I thought it was bullshit that I had to clean my room. It's your space. Do what the fuck you want to do with it. And so I'm not too whatever unless they until you know what I'm saying until I can use it. So like they want to go somewhere and I'm like, okay, cool. You want to go somewhere? Clean your room. Easy as that. You know what I'm saying? It becomes a negotiation at that point. And that's how I address that particular thing. But a lot of times, man, if possible, I'll do most of the housework around here still because I'm just like, man, one day you'll have your own house and you'll have to do this shit and whatever. And in Vanessa's mind, she's like, no way, they should be learning because then they'll know. And I'm like, it's not like they not gonna know. Feel me? So it's like,
but to be fair, you don't know what nobody knows until they don't know it.
Yeah,
and I kind of feel like I know how you feel to a certain extent because like my mom kicked my brother out the house. I forgot how old he was, but it was a couple. I was still younger, so I had to do literally everything, and there was nobody else to do it.
yeah.
So I got the little brother end of it. Like before, it's like, hey, I gotta help with chores. I wash dishes. You do this. Like make dinner or whatever or help out. But when he got kicked out the house, it was just all me. There was nobody else to help do anything. And if something got fucked up, it was on my shoulders. But then also before that, I was the little brother, and my brother used to leverage it because I wanted to hang out with my brother.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, you want to hang out with me later on? You do everything in the house, and and then when we go outside, hey, I'll let you hang out with me. My brother used to do stuff like that to me. And I'm like, you know what? This shit ain't that. That should be cool. And then he was like, oh, but next time. So I just did that shit for free. But
I never pulled that. Like, if we were doing shit and like something came up, I'd be like, look, it'll get done quicker if we do it together. I never tricked anyone into doing anything for me. My problem was always like I felt like I was the only one doing shit for some reason, and then like everyone else just got to like skate by, like almost like they were treated like they were too young to take a trash bag out to the can out back or something. And it was just like I'm always like, why is it always me that has to be the one to do everything? Like if we were sharing the load, I wouldn't have had a problem. But it was like it was always on me to do everything, and I'm like, this shit seems unbalanced. Yeah. But back to what you were saying, T, I kind of agree with Vanessa, if I'm being honest. And I know you didn't really ask for my opinion, but I feel like teaching.
I think I'll better explain it to you after you go ahead and let this freestyle go right quick. But I think I'll give you a better explanation of it shortly. Go on.
Yeah, like I mean, like if you guys are doing it as a family, you know, like to me that was always what I wanted was everyone to contribute something. You know, and like I know like you don't necessarily want your kids to grow up faster than they should. But, like, you know, them taking a trash bag out or something ain't going to kill them. But, like,
exactly.
You know, as long as it's fair.
Yeah. So, here's we'll lay out my kids' situation. My children, what I expect of them is one of them does recycling, one of them does garbage. It's relatively easy. Make sure the cans get to the curb. Make sure the cans get back to get to the side of the house. Relatively easy. Dishes. Who loaded the dishwasher last? Xander loaded it last. Okay, Lee empty the dishwasher and then load it again. You know what I'm saying? And that's it. And it just back and forth between them two. Xander is more prone to be better at mopping the floors. So Lee, I need you to dust. I need you to vacuum. You know what I'm saying? It's just I ebb and I flow it that way. That's how it works in the house. You know what I'm saying? Again, like, it's the only thing that's really too much like this beef is like I said, their rooms, and I'm just not fighting about it. I just refuse.
Yeah, I feel like even in my own house, like my house is in disarray right now.
Mm.
Part of that's been the weather, and part of that was the little rental we had going on in here.
Yeah.
Part of it was like putting up a little eBay business and like not having the space ready, so it's like it's a little chaotic in here. But like I want to keep like the general house areas clean, but like my bedroom, like I never care about my bedroom being a little fucked up because like that's my like sanctuary of like where I don't need everything to be pristine. I don't need everything like I'm lazy and chaotic in my own space. Even though the house is technically all my space, I still like to treat a majority of the house as a shared space in case I have company or something.
Yeah.
But like my bedroom's mine. And like if it's fucking a little raggedy in there or some shit's out of place or I take a shirt out of the closet and don't put it back right away, like that's my fucking prerogative.
Yeah.
Like that's no one else's business.
Yeah. So, like I said, it's not that I'm not letting my kids do things. In fact, they have many a thing. I don't trip off of it. So, like, but the living room, I'll pick the living room up because fucking cares. You know what I'm saying? They go to school in the morning, and oftentimes, like I said, I get them out the door to school, and I'll come around and fluff up the living room. Which is, if they left a cup on the table, I'll take the cup to the kitchen. If the pillows aren't fluffed in a way that I am happy with, I'll fluff the pillows. You know what I'm saying? Because I just don't mind. And I just think I'm taking care of my house, and that's just what it is. But as for like I said, my children know how to cook, they know how to clean, they know how to separate their laundry. They would probably argue that separating laundry. A lot of I'm told the Zennials and young millennials don't believe in separating their laundry and just throw it all in on cold. It's probably who knows? They might be right, but that's not how Andy Pearl taught me.
I don't buy white clothes, so like I never separate anything.
Yeah.
I buy black socks and I wear a lot of like dark basketball shorts and dark t-shirts and shit. So like my wardrobe is pretty much made so that I don't have to separate anything. I just throw it all in on cold.
Well, like there you go. It's darks, it's whites, it's colors. It's just what it is, and that's how I separate them, and that's what I do. And so like it's another thing. I do laundry. I wash laundry. Forgive me. Let's get this straight. I wash and dry laundry. Vanessa folds and gets laundry away. And she gives the kids their laundry to put away as they should. So it's not like she's putting away their clothes or whatever like that. You know what I'm saying? So that's another thing. It's like that's what it is. I'm constantly out here trying to make sure that the load is a little more equal than what sometimes I get into fights over. And I'm just like, I'm not fighting you over these 3 pots and pans in the sink. I'll just wash them my goddamn self. You know what I'm saying? It's okay. And I'm okay with that. And she's not. And so that's sometimes what the fight is. Like, well, they should come down here and wash some pots and pans. Like, I guess. But I can just wash these pots and pans myself.
I think that's a product of someone with OCD.
Correct. Or just their own like thought process. And somebody who, like said, who was the oldest child and a child of divorce and who had to basically, you know what I'm saying,
keep it together.
Try to run this shit be everything for everybody. And it's just like, that's one way of conducting oneself. It's not the way I do.
Yeah, like.
But this is one thing I heard, and I've tried to like fold into my life now. And the thing is, we all need to be the gatekeepers of the new future of our emotions and honesty. So what that means to me is, like, whatever trauma we had in the past and whatever things that, we didn't like or that made our past bad, it stops with you. It needs to, like, and I know I've been saying this for years, but damn it, I know I'm gonna try to do it this year. I'm going to get myself some therapy.
Yeah.
Like, I know I've been able to, with my own thoughts and feelings, get past, like, the things that happened to me, like, as far as, like, with my mom and my dad.
Yeah.
Like, me and my mother have a very, very good relationship. And that's not because my mom was perfect or my dad was perfect. It's because I want to have a good relationship with my mother. That's it. Like, I could be like, you know what? I was bitter about the time my bike got stolen in front of the house because I didn't lock it up, but it was just in your room for 3 days and you wanted to teach me a lesson. You didn't have to teach me that lesson, Ma. You could have just told me to lock up my bike. But I knew where she was coming from. Now, as an adult, and I can say like, hey, you did it the way you thought it should be done at that time in our life.
Yeah.
And it's time for me. I can't hold on to it because that shit would eat other people alive. But I'm like, I'm. Should I just keep on harping on it, or should I like? My mother at 60 plus isn't that person anymore.
Yeah.
And I have to be like, I love her, and I just want to have a good relationship with her, regardless of past traumas. And like, I just really want like. I just don't want to fuck up my kids because I got fucked up.
Yeah. And like I said, you know the deal, you know what I'm saying? I feel like my kids have had enough of their own trauma that I don't need to add on to it. And so I don't spank my children. Never have. It was just never was gonna be a part of my repertoire because I remember getting my ass beat. And I didn't get spanked. I got my ass beat. And there was a difference there. And so I never was gonna pass that on. Again, I'm not weird about them cleaning their rooms because that was some shit I lived through and I was like, nah, that's not for me. I know what it is to have been told to stop what you're doing right now and come do what I told you to do. And so instead of doing that, I'm oftentimes like, hey, when you get done with that, or when you get a moment, come do this. That's how I address my children and how I try to be, because it's like that way it gives them a little more of their own, I guess, decision making, or at least it feels like they're making decisions. Now, oftentimes I'll tell my kids straight up and down, that's not a request. I know how I just said it out loud to you sounds as if I'm giving you an option. And like I said, these exact words, I'll be like, but it's really not an option. I just told you what to do. Please go get it done. Because sometimes they'll be like, oh, you're a little too friendly. I mean, you give me the option to maybe take this recycling out later. I'm like, no, the recycling needs to get out because it's time to, it's Thursday. Garbage gets picked up on Friday. Let's get this shit done. But I've spoken to you like you're a human who deserves to be spoken to. You know what I'm saying? Like who needs to be spoken to like a person and not like an asshole. So that's what the level here is. And like I said, all the times I tell my kids straight up, like, I know it sounds like I'm requesting something, but that's me telling you to your face, go get that shit done, please and thank you. And that's just what it is. I'm saying I try to, like I said, it's not that my childhood was so terrible, but it had its terrible moments, you feel me? And I try to make sure that their terrible moments are as infrequent and as less as possible. They lost their mom. They've had a good sized terrible moment in life. They don't need extra, So I try to bear the extra myself, and that's my own thing. Like I said, it gets me to a fight a lot of times, but it's a fight I'm willing to fight.
Yeah, I totally understand that because I do feel like, not in spite of what my father, like, my mother and my dad got divorced when I was like 2 years old. It's not like my father was not in my life. My father was just living his life more than he was in my life. And I come to that understanding. So with that being said, like, I don't feel like I go overboard, like, but I do go overboard with the thought of dying early.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like
I think about that all the time right now.
Yeah, like, yeah, it has been like...
It keeps me up at night sometimes.
It doesn't keep me up at night, only probably because, like, I shut down. I try my best to shut down any thoughts, because if I start thinking about one thing, I'll think about 38 things. It's not. Excuse me.
Well, see, that's the problem. Is like for me, it's like I go to lay down to go to sleep, and then in my mind I go, oh, well, is this what death is like? And then I can't stop thinking about it,
Yeah.
And part of it's because of, like, the regression I've had the last 2.5 years with this quarantine and all the shit I put back on my body. Is like sometimes I go to bed at night and I'm like, is this the last time I go to sleep? Like, am I ever gonna wake up again? Like, I can't help having these thoughts because, like, I know how much I've fucked up, and, like, it's the byproduct of what comes with it, you know?
Yeah, I often like it could be the simplest thing. It's like I bought a new box of that the Graham cinnamon toast crunch, and I'm just sitting there eating one bowl. I'm like, man, so this how you want to die, huh? So, like, it's not like that kind of stuff isn't on my brain. Like, I just try my best to put it out. And, like, honestly, yes, I need to do better. We all need to do better. But sometimes I try to overcompensate by, like, you know, I want to have special, I hate going outside in the cold. Like, it sucks. But we go outside and play in the snow, and we'll be out there for a little bit, and the kids will have fun, and they'll throw snowballs in my face and stuff. But, like, I'm just hoping, like, maybe this would be the one memory that pushes them through when I'm not here.
Yeah.
Like, that's always on my head. But, man, we really went a journey on having kids early.
I was listening to the Blackout Tips earlier, and they started talking about one thing, and Karen was taking the places, but they ended up going way around the corner, and I laughed because I was like, I'm glad our show isn't the only show where that sometimes will happen, where we say we're gonna talk about this, and then it's like, no, we not, because it was meant to get us where we got. And I'm appreciative of us getting there. Yes, it can reflect back to maybe having kids earlier could have been easier in some regards, but also I like I don't know, I like addressing our own ideals, thoughts, traumas, and maybe getting slightly better because of it. So that is okay. Boxman, you got something you want to bring to the table this week, or and if not, no worries. Like I said, we just really put it down. So
Yeah, not really. Like, I've mostly just been sick the last couple of days, so I haven't really done anything.
yeah,
So I got nothing really to give you. Sorry.
a fair enough point. And that's breezy, people. That's sometimes how it goes down. You get some real ass talk from a motherfucker some weeks, but you know I can make you at least kind of giggle. So we run over to Reddit. We poke around at them at the assholes. Oftentimes we draw fun out of those things. Hold on. You know what? I'll tell you a quick story. I'll throw you a T-tail right quick because I probably shouldn't have done this, but it is regarding social media. I sent these guys earlier a TikTok I saw where I was literally almost ready to curse this woman. In fact, I kind of went to them comments and lightweight kind of cursed her out, but didn't curse her out. Where this woman said how men don't ever want to be friends. And I was like, well, I'm certain men would like to be your friends, but the men you're meeting on dating apps ain't there to make buddies. It's not what that app is for. That's not what's going on there. That is not what's supposed to be happening. They are there to hopefully find love or at least a lay. They ain't trying to make friends. And and she was like, because that's how they end up in the friend zone. I'm like, and I literally wrote down the friend zone is false. It doesn't exist. Motherfuckers got to sack up and say what they want from this situation, but it ain't real. And that's just what's up. And they say, I was so offended by it. But then I say all that, right? And then I'm going to jump over my tick. Let me turn it down so it don't go screaming because you know how TikTok just like, I'm going to play for you right now. What I ended up getting was multiple people over and over responding to me and liking my comments and so forth because people were like, I'm hearing what you're saying, brother. And I'm like, thank you. But I also got a couple people saying some other shit.
I told the same thing to my buddy, who was dealing with the breakup a couple months ago. He was like, I just want someone to talk to and I want to make some friends and shit. I'm like, you don't go on dating apps to fucking make friends. I'm like, you're meeting these people under false pretenses. You're wasting your time. That's an asshole move.
Yeah. It is because again, there's like these people are coming here for a fucking reason. So I'm gonna give you a couple of comments that I received from my comments. And one was, exactly. I already have friends. I'm on these apps looking for something more. That said, boy she's dating shouldn't should tell her that, which is what my point was. It's like, bruh, uh, I mean, I guess they should tell her that, but also like I feel like it's baked right in there. I met you via, I don't know, the various apps, Hinge, Bumbles, Match.com. I would say Match.com because we were listening to something earlier and it was Match.com was the people who did the science behind it. I'm like, that seems shady. But they're there to fucking meet you, you know what I'm saying? And then somebody else was like, it's a comment on there where somebody was like kind of salty at me. That's a weird way to interpret her story. She didn't force any friendship, and not everyone you meet on dating apps works out, but maybe as friends. And of course, that was a woman who's, I guess, basically trying to side with this person. I was just like, bro, it's just not true. It's like,
I mean, I just kind of feel like at first when I was reading it, I understand what she's trying to say.
Yeah.
But the caveat to that being, on a dating site, it's called a dating site, not
exactly.
not Friendster, not like
not MySpace.
There's no other box in that. Like when you step outside of that box, yes, but you are in something called a dating site.
Yeah.
Like I remember like back in the day, we used to go on the chat line, and then you hear somebody like, "I'm just here to meet friends." Skip right past that person. If you're here to meet friends, you're in the wrong lane. If you want
go to church on Sunday,
you know what? Go anywhere.
That's what
anywhere.
It's exactly what I told my buddy. I'm like, if you want to meet friends, I'm like, find some shit that you're interested in and go do that and meet other people there that are doing that same shit. Going on dating apps because you're too fucking like out of touch and scared because it's just a couple clicks and meaningless conversation to you. I'm like, that's fucking rude. I'm like, like if you want to like learn a new skill, go do pottery and meet a woman doing pottery, or go to like the shooting range and meet a fellow shooter. Like I'm going to go do something with people that are doing the same thing that you enjoy.
Get a fucking
if
dog.
you don't know what you like, go try shit until you find something you enjoy.
If you're looking like it's like these stats I've heard about having a dog or a cat or a fish or a turtle or a bird.
He actually does want a dog, but he can't. His situation right now won't allow for it.
Yeah.
Okay, so after that, but get a turtle. Get something else like.
He has 2 cats already.
Get a Tamagotchi pet. Like there's other ways. Like play what's that fucking game where you beep and you play get the Sims. Play the Sims.
He got the new Pokemon game.
There was so many other.
Got his Arceus popping.
Yeah.
But like going to a dating site, that's like me going to going to Old Navy looking to bake bread. It just don't match up.
And that literally was my entire point. And like I said, the poster didn't say anything to it, but several people were just like, I hear you, big baby, and I'm like, thank you, because I don't think I'm talking out my neck. I'm just saying.
And you were right though too about what you said about like people needing to be direct with what they want. That was one of the hardest lessons I ever had to learn. Was like, because I know, like, being introspective, I can admit that like I spent too much time dancing around, like on that fear tip, like afraid of what the truth might bring. And that the one time that like I went for it and that didn't work out, like it would have been easy for me to just like tuck my sack back and just like give in to whatever was offered to me. But I stood my ground, like you said, and I made a decision, and it was the best thing I ever did. And I feel like a lot more people would benefit from just being honest, like, look, this is what I want, it's not what you want. Then I guess like we just need to shake hands and go our separate ways.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I know it's not the what people should do, But just pulling your dick out is just the best measuring stick of what you do in situations. Just pull your dick out. Like, look.
Metaphorically, don't pull your actual dick out.
That's
You
what
know,
I'm saying. Like, no,
metaphorically,
I'm not
like,
saying metaphorically. I'm
like,
saying like,
this is why, like, sometimes, like, I'm just like, I don't understand sometimes where like the line of like sexual harassment starts and whatnot, because like I understand sexual harassment is bad, right? And like I'm not condoning sexual harassment, but like I feel like sometimes it gets mislabeled when someone is trying to like express that they're interested in another person, and because that other person's not interested, then it becomes sexual harassment. But if a person they were interested in did something the same thing, it wouldn't be sexual harassment anymore because they were interested.
yeah,
I just feel like people need to be a little more mindful with what they label things as, because like if you don't express how you feel to someone, I'm not saying whip your dick out or send dick pics in the DMs or whatever, but if you can't like just be like a simple like, hey, how are you? I think this is really nice about you, or you seem like you're a cool person. Like when people are just like, hey, buddy, back the fuck off. I'm a person. Like, how do you let someone know otherwise? Because then it becomes this whole dancing around shit that I was doing that didn't work for 20 years. You know?
that's why I'm saying I'm not saying it metaphorically at all. If I'm in the right situation, in the right place at the right time, I'm pulling my dick out. Because if we sitting on the couch next to each other, ain't no there's no misconstruing my dick being out. Now, if we in the break room, there's plenty of room for that to go wrong. If we're in a car, there's room for that to go wrong. But if we're on my couch, there's no way for that to go wrong. You can say no, and I'm cool with that.
Okay.
But my dick has a right to be out at that point. Dick rights.
And
out.
I think, Dan, what makes it ebb and flow from harassment to interest is timing and location. Probably, you know what I'm saying. You probably, you know what I'm saying. Yeah, you'd be like, yo, that's a dime at the damn gym, but she's probably there working out, and that's probably their focus. You know what I'm saying. And maybe if I don't know how you approach somebody. I don't know how you approach people because goddamn it, may I never have to date again, sir. It is everything about it seems just the worst.
See, and that's what I'm saying though. It's like to some people, approaching a pretty woman at the gym while she's working out is you encroaching on her time while she's trying to do something.
Agreed.
And to some people, it's you not optimizing your opportunity to shoot your shot and go say hello to that person. It's all about perspective.
Now, see, hello is one thing. Girl, you looking real fine is another thing.
When I say hello, I don't mean just hello. I mean,
I know, but I actually think that hello is probably the more effective tool there because a hello, it'll help you orient yourself. Hey, how you doing? I'm working out right now. Don't bother me. Cool, got that. Oh, hey, I'm good. You? Oh, thanks. You know what I'm saying? It'll orient you. You know what I'm saying? If you should you start with a hello in one of those situations, and you might be able to figure out the rest of it. I'm not gonna lie, it could go places. It could go sideways. You could get cussed out to hit you visit the wrong person at the right time, the right person at the wrong time,
yeah,
so forth.
Yeah, I'm not saying that like you should walk up to a woman in the gym and be like, "I must be in heaven because your ass looks like angel food cake." Like, nothing like that, you know.
But you know, it's some dude who has done that.
I mean, I would hope so. That line was pretty slick.
It's pretty fire. But and like I said, to some level of success. But that's a third date line if you want to know for sure.
I literally just came up with that off the top of my head. Like,
well, sir, you should write that down because fuck with it. I was also, again, that story I was telling you earlier, that Match.com situation. Again, I'm whatever. What I found to be interesting is they said right now, just because of 2 years of being locked down and going into the third year of the pandemic, people who are on sites and dating are like, I'm trying to date to get married in way higher numbers than it used to be. People are actually seeking out more long-term relationships than they are just, run and gunning. But also, again, some of the science behind this is from the people at Match.com whose intention is to marry people off. Mm-hmm. So it's like, it almost becomes like, can I trust you, or actually giving me proper, really, looked into science is some bullshit where you telling me 60% of people out there is really trying to get married, but in reality, those numbers, you're missing because you're Match.com, you're not looking at the Twitter, Tinder, right?
Yeah, Tinder's one. Yeah,
Tinder.
I'm gonna be real honest. Shit. I uninstalled all that from my phone, so if there's any new shit, I am not hip.
Yeah, Tinder, Hinge, Bumble. What's the other? Raya is the fancy one.
Never heard of that one.
Raya is an invite only platform, and basically the wealthy is who are on Raya.
Oh wait, is that the one where they gotta verify your banking info?
I don't think they verify your bank info, but they will verify your status in society.
Because my uncle's on one of those. He had to verify his assets. That's how he meets all his sugar babies.
What also has been something interesting is I guess whichever one of these websites requires you to pay to I guess, I don't know, use it. I don't know how the situation works. I guess they've been charging men more and charging men of a certain age even more. And so that becomes like a potential lawsuit.
It's kind of predatory.
It's both predatory, but it's also unequal treatment. Mm-hmm. And so I bet there's apparently some possible lawsuits popping off because of such matters. But what I'm saying is, people, it might be your time. Maybe according to this Match.com/Kinsey Institute study, if you are out there looking for real love.
So, while we're on the subject, I don't think my buddy will be upset if I talk about his situation.
Hey, we don't name names.
Yeah. So, now, this isn't the buddy you're probably thinking of. This is a different buddy.
Okay.
So he met a girl on a dating app recently. I would say probably within the last 2 months. And he really likes her. They've hung out a few times. They talk all the time. It's the first person that he's dated or been interested in that, in the time that I've known him, that I actually thought would work.
Okay.
Most of the time, he's with someone that like I can't stand, or like I don't think it's like the right person for him. I'm being honest. Like, he knows. Like, he dated a woman. No, he dated a woman like 2 years ago, and I was rude to her face. I didn't think highly of her when they were hanging out, and I let her know it. Which, like, if I don't like you, that's not a good sign. Because, like, I'm pretty fair to everybody. Like, sometimes, like, I should be more rude to some people, but I try to keep everyone pretty even keel. But anyway, so he really likes this girl, and then like a couple weeks ago, some girl matched with him. Like, see, he didn't understand that just because you're not on the app, that doesn't make your profile inactive. I'm like, if every time you get a notification and you open up the app to look at the notification, that keeps your fucking profile active in the dating pool. Because he kept telling me, he's like, I'm not on the apps. I'm like, if you look at the notification, sir, you are on the app because you're telling the app that you're still like using it. Yeah. I'm like, so they keep you in rotation. So that's why these people keep fucking matching with you and sending you shit. So I had to explain that to him, which I don't think I should have had to, because he's not a stupid person. But anyway, so he matched with this other chick like a couple weeks ago. I think it happened on a Friday. Like, we were all playing Call of Duty when it happened, because he like screenshotted it to us while I was like on the headset with the guys. And I looked her up, and I found her Instagram like right away, which had obviously a link to an OnlyFans on it.
Oh.
Yeah. So I was ragging him about that a little bit. I was like, "Oh, you gonna date this OnlyFans broad? You gonna open up one together?" But so not that I care. I'm not judging.
I know you truly don't. It doesn't matter to you.
Yeah, so, I was just fucking with him about it. But anyway, so he he broke up with a girl he was dating around Christmas time because he was really interested in the first girl I was talking to you about. So now he really wants to date that girl, but she apparently is a divorcee who is living at home with her mom while she gets back on her feet, and she doesn't want to jump into a relationship until she feels that she is on good ground.
Yeah.
So she told him to continue to date around and to do him. And I think like he's willing to do that if he doesn't think that like she's going to come around.
Yeah.
But his preference is to date her, and he thinks that she's being stupid in basically like life's never going to be perfect.
Correct.
This is what I explained to him when he was explaining this to us the other day. I'm like, she is shutting herself down from possibilities because she was married to the wrong person. So she thinks everything that goes along with certain aspects of that person's life wouldn't be correct for her ever, when it could be the correct thing with the right person. So just because like she wants to be on her own 2 feet, whatever, but that maybe wouldn't necessarily need to be the case because you already own your own house. You know, like if it worked between you two could figure out your living situation together. She wouldn't necessarily need to go, get her own place for a year or whatever. Like if you two were to date while she's still living at her mom's, things could work. She just has to not be afraid of that working because of the downfall of her marriage.
Because the thing that didn't work.
Yeah. Now I don't know. All I know is what I was told. Apparently, the ex-husband was military. Was I will put it as the way it was described to me as aggressive, abusive, like power hungry, dominating, a choker, if we'll say. So anyway, that's the situation for that particular thing. Is he wants to date her. She's kind of being like, look, I like you, but like I'm not ready to do this, yada yada yada. Yeah. Which I think is horseshit. Then if why are you on dating apps? But so he has. So he the OnlyFans chick, hit him up, and they've been talking and whatnot. And it's like he could easily go diddle around with the OnlyFans girl.
Yeah.
But he seems like he really wants to try and make things work with the divorcee. So he's kind of torn on what to do.
He shouldn't be. Again, this woman has made it clear, and this is the thing we just was talking about. Has made it clear, bruh, it's not going to happen between us right now, and probably not for a while. And he is thinking, I can make this happen, and he simply can't.
What I told him was, if it meant enough to him. So his thing was, do I need to be like basically looking at like I'd be sacrificing sex with other people in an attempt to try and make a relationship with her happen?
Yeah,
was the way he was presenting it to us. And I told him, I'm like, if you're willing to sacrifice for something that you want, it might not work out, but if you're willing to sacrifice something, that tells you how much it actually means to you.
Yeah.
And you'd have to be the one to make that decision on how much you're willing to sacrifice in an attempt to try and make something work that may not work out.
Yeah. Well, I'm saying, you've been told outright, fetch is not going to happen. Stop trying to make fetch happen.
So he was saying that like she always calls him when she's like upset or drinking or whatever. And I told him, I'm like, I went through this before too. And then the next thing I knew, that the chick was ended up pregnant by some other dude. I'm like, it's a real fine line between this person's emotionally unstable or they're friend zoning you.
Yeah. Yeah. He should, well, I'm not going, he should do what the fuck he gonna do. He grown ass man, do what you want to do in his life. Yeah. Were it we move on, not necessarily just to the OnlyFans girl, but we just move on and keep adventuring. Okay, shot my shot, didn't work out, we move forward. It's all to the good.
It's important to listen to what people say they really are. And like man, if I could turn back the hands of time, like like listen to that. You can't make things work as bad as you will it to happen. I know people say prayers are a powerful thing, but no, no, nigga, no. Come on, like
To me, it almost kind of goes back to the principle. If it's not an enthusiastic yes, it's a no.
yes, yeah, I agree with that.
Enthusiastic consent. People, it's the realest shit ever. If it's not a hell to fuck yes, let's get on to the get down. Anything less than that it is basically them trying to convince themselves to do something that they really don't want to do. And this woman is basically said, "Nah, you should probably go. You should probably not fuck with me right now because I know I'm not in that place yet." Box, you say the same shit all the time yourself that you feel you're not in a place to be out here on the stroll, and you know yourself, know thy own self be true, know thyself is that is nah, I ain't ready for it yet.
Yeah, if I'm not happy, there's no way that I can
Make other people
realistically
happy.
be in a loving relationship if like I'm miserable.
Correct.
And like I wouldn't want to force my problems onto somebody else because I want other people to enjoy their lives as well.
Yeah. And right now she's not ready to enjoy life. She's getting past and through her divorce. She's living back with her mom, and that probably has its own foibles, and so forth. And yeah, it's okay.
Put
Go see
pussies
whoever you
never
want
get
to see.
wet in mom's house.
Also, outright lying to himself when he says he's not on the apps. He's not on the apps. He deleted the apps and are out in rotation.
Well, I after I explained it to him, he admitted that I was right that he wasn't on the apps like scrolling them, but like he didn't go inactive. So in his mind, I'm not on the apps, but you were on the apps.
Yeah,
In his mind, he wasn't active, so he wasn't on it. Like
Yeah.
yeah. If I ain't swiping left or right, I have no idea how you swipe on these things. Up and down might be how it actually works. But if I ain't swiping left or right, then I'm not active. But in reality, yes, you are, because that's how the system works. Is a dude who live close to me?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, all right. I know who this brother is. Like that guy. But he fucking up. Well, like I said, I'm sorry. I wanted to delve into that right quick because this is one of the things. And again, we went places, and I like that we do
I,
that.
I just kind of feel like I have what I call shopping karma. When I like see stuff I like at the store, and even if I need one or two of them, if there's only two left, I never take two. Like, I try not to be on bullshit at the store. If like somebody's in front of me, I give them space and all that. I attribute that to my shopping karma. And so when I know I want different things or like I'm looking for something, 9 times out of 10 I always find it. So with that being said, is a lot of times what you have to do is stop looking for it and live your life and make the other checks in your life good and everything things fall into place. Just like Lunch was saying earlier and you were saying earlier, go do something else. Start bowling. Start having fun there. You might see a girl pretty there or find or you know what? Somebody grandma might come through and be like, man, I see Alan here every week. Alan's handsome. He got his own job, his own car, his own house. I'm going to hook him up with my fine ass granddaughter.
Yeah,
Just keep on living your life and other things seem to fall into place.
yeah, yeah.
And nothing makes an ex or somebody you used to talk to make them get on their toes more than seeing you living your life straight and clean without them. Nothing makes the phone ring faster. Like, man, he ain't called me in 2 weeks. He ain't emailing me. He ain't texting me. And he in Instagram flicking it up, happy.
Yeah.
Keep living your life.
He put a little distance between old girl and himself. She might come coming, and she might not. But again, that's
But
that.
either way, you have to be okay with it. You can't fake that shit. You got to be okay with it.
You have to truly be okay with it because it don't happen otherwise. Because the universe has to feel it, it be knowing, and the universe is like, nah, you can't have it yet until you really is like, okay, fine, it's fun. The universe is funny that way. Again, you know we do. Every week, we take a stroll on over to Reddit. We do some amateur assholes. You may not know, and maybe you will right now, is that we try to post one up the video of us discussing at least one of them up over on our TikToks. A little short, little clip, a clipped out version of it. You know what I'm saying? And they do okay. They get good traction. So I'm okay with that. And so one of these could be. I'll just tell you to your face. One of these most certainly will be on TikTok, so you can actually see us at least see us read the question and kind of get kind of what we look like and so forth going. If you want to, you can head over to our TikTok and Stage Crunchy Milk over there, and it's pretty fun. It's only it's only a few videos up so far. So it's the wing test and a couple of amateur assholes, and you'll get another amateur asshole tomorrow from the day I'm recording this. That is already ready to go, and I should probably watch it before I go to bed tonight so I can make sure it's ready to go. I've been told several times, did you watch that yet? And I have not. Who knows? But it should be up tomorrow. And that means tomorrow for you too. But here are a selection of Am I the Assholes. Am I the asshole for leaving my mom's birthday dinner because she called me a gold digger? Would I be the asshole for telling my friend to leave his guns at home or not come to my wedding? This was almost the one before this week's video. I want you to know that one. Am I the asshole for being upset with my son for finding a job without telling me? Dan, this is very much reflective of what we were discussing earlier. I think that might be an interesting one to hear. Oh, this one has been deleted since I opened it earlier tonight. Am I the asshole for not letting my 28-year-old son move back in temporarily after his apartment building burned down after I advised him not to pick that apartment complex? It's layers to that one. And that one has been, like I said, it has been deleted. But let me see if I can scroll down to see if the actual one is there. I don't even see the original to even play with. So, am I the asshole for increasing my use of Yiddish after a Jewish person asked me not to?
Oh, wow.
Am I the asshole for ruining my colleague's wedding and getting them arrested?
Oh, shit.
Last one. Am I the asshole for not letting my girlfriend wear her unique dress to a wedding?
Man, why is there so many wedding ones or am I the asshole?
Because people who've been having, I just read a story about this the other day. Because people who have been pushing back their wedding through this pandemic are finally saying, "Fuck it, we got to get these vows done." So lots and lots and lots of weddings will be happening this year, and of course have been occurring. So it's that time. So, any of those?
The one I said, "Oh shit," to sounds pretty good.
All right.
What do you think, Daniel?
I'm okay with that one.
Fair enough. Am I the asshole for ruining my work colleague's wedding and getting them arrested? The title sounds bad, but hear me out. I, 38 female, had two work colleagues, Mary and Adam, both in their late 20s, early 30s. Mary started the company first, and then she got Adam to join. They worked in different departments, and Mary was in mine. Later, Mary left the company to pursue another career. I think this woman tried to spell career. That is not what she wrote. She wrote carrier. When they started at the company, they were already married for a few years. Now, Mary is the kindest and loveliest person I've ever met. She was always polite, helpful, and would cheer everyone up. We missed her dearly. So it came to a shock when we found out she was divorcing Adam because he had cheated on her. I have called her to express how sorry I was that this has happened to her, and we were talking almost daily, except this woman wrote Dapey. I guess the P and the L are relatively close, ever since. I was impressed by how well Mary holds herself in such a situation. She wouldn't badmouth Adam, and the only thing she mentioned was how her wedding dress had a few family heirlooms went missing when she was moving her stuff from their apartment. She thought they might be misplaced in a different box and will turn up eventually. A few years passed. I now work in the same department as Adam. He is a good work colleague, but can be dismissive and ignorant sometimes. Adam invites me to his wedding with his lady, Chelsea. he cheated on Mary with. As the entire department was invited, I said yes, making sure Mary's okay with it. Okay with this. I've also told her that where the wedding will be. It's not too far from where she lives, and we could go for some drinks after if she wanted to. On the day of Adam's wedding, I noticed that Chelsea was wearing a similar dress to that Mary had worn in photos of hers and Adam's wedding years ago. So without thinking, I snapped a picture and sent it to Mary with the caption, "Doesn't this dress look familiar?"
Oh, no.
Mary saw the message but didn't respond, and about an hour later, the police show up at the venue.
Shit.
I need to add the police in our country is ruthless, and any theft is considered a criminal matter for the police to deal with. Police has asked Chelsea to take dress and all jewelry off. This person may be English as a second language, so I apologize for making fun of their spellings. Chelsea refused and started arguing with them, and then Adam joined in. As they were rude to the police, they were taken to the police station. Everyone at the wedding had to leave. I have tried to call Mary, but she wouldn't pick up the phone. As we found out later, Chelsea was wearing Mary's wedding dress and her heirlooms. Mary spotted some of them in the picture I sent to her and called the police. Apparently, she had previously asked Adam if he had them, and he declined, saying he never saw them. So after she saw the picture, she knew he was lying and stole them. Chelsea had to leave the wedding dress and jewelry at the police station and go home wearing her underwear and Adam's jacket after they were bailed out. Yesterday, Adam returned to the office and went completely mental at me, blaming me for sending a picture to Mary and ruining his wedding. He would also call me an asshole for what I did. Sir, madam, I don't know what this person is. 38 female. Ma'am, madam, however you identify. No, you're not the asshole. This dude is a colossal boob. And wherever y'all at, got caught out there, didn't he? That is hilarious. What a piece of shit. Who got his comeuppance? I'm very taken aback here.
I do not feel like she's an asshole, but I do feel like she's definitely playing both sides of the field. Like, if you feel like you needed to be like contacting Mary and shit, you shouldn't have been at that wedding. Like, if you feel like you need to be like going back and forth, like, you shouldn't be at that wedding. Like, I don't like. First of all, dude shouldn't have invited her. If you still friends with if she was still friends with Mary,
yeah,
he knew that. And obviously, Mary don't give a fuck about blasting you, because she obviously told old boy like, oh yeah, and Susie Q sent me the pictures. So there's no loyalty for anybody here, and like the least Mary could have did is just like keep her name out of it, and Mary obviously fucking didn't. So it seems like everybody is kind of at least a little dickish here. Like you shouldn't have went to the wedding.
Yeah.
I don't think you're quite an asshole, but you tipping your toe in that water.
You get your toe out of there. It's gross water. Can't you smell it?
Yeah,
maybe it's the water with the little fishies on it, eating the niblets of the dead skin.
Go on, Box. I'm sorry.
I don't have anything to add. I think you guys nailed it.
Fair enough. I don't see any glow in the dark posts or anything like that. That's just wild. And sorry, buddy. That's how it goes down sometimes. You get caught stealing wedding dresses and heirlooms. Who does that?
Yes, indeed. I'm not going to act like he's innocent in the matter. He did some terrible shit, but at the same time, did he buy those heirlooms and buy that dress originally?
Well, she said family heirlooms, so I can't call it. Let's see.
Was he not once her family when he married her?
So let's run through this. What
classifies something as an heirloom?
You know what? Let's just ask the damn internet. That's not even guess.
Yeah, because I mean, like, if you pass something down to Alexander, does that make it an heirloom, or does it gotta like go to his kids if he has any? You know? Like, how many generations that shit have to pass through to get heirloom status?
Okay. Heirloom definition and meaning. A piece of property such as a deed and charter that descends to the heir as an inseparable part of an inheritance or real property. Something of special value handed down from one generation to another. The pin she's wearing is a family heirloom. A variety of plant that has originated under cultivation that has survived for several generations.
So it seems like if you just gave something to your child in an inheritance situation, that would be an heirloom.
I want to know. I'm like, nope. Something that's been passed down for generations through family members. Example, a family Bible. Okay, well, there you go. I don't know why you want to marry a woman in the same women in the same dress twice. You know what I'm saying?
It's good luck.
Is it? Because you got divorced the first time, brother.
Second time's a charm.
So I just clicked the poster's name to see if they had commented anywhere else, and I guess further in the post they had commented. So this is them having a discussion with some other people, and one guy's like, "Info, what country is this? I've never heard of police arresting someone over a civil matter with zero proof. Police would normally say this is a civil matter and bring them to civil court." The OP responds, "In our country, theft is a criminal matter, and Mary had my photo as proof. I'm pretty sure she had messages or other communications with Adam about the heirloom or the dress." And someone responds to that and says, "That's like saying you and I happen to have the same shirt. You brought yours, I lost mine. I'll call the police on you for theft because I have a picture of myself with said shirt. I doubt they would arrest someone on this alone." These are men who are just trying to say this, I guess, trying to doubt this person's story, not knowing where this woman is from. I don't know where she's from either. It's like, bruh, they might have just a different bar for burden of proof than we have where we are. So this person responds, "Mary's dress was a very unique and almost handmade design. And from what she told me, the heirlooms are old. You won't find them in a normal jewelry shop, and spawn shops would either sell them for crazy amounts or send them to museums as part of the history. They are really pretty and look great with the dress, making the bride look like a princess from older Disney cartoons." And this person responds, "Not the asshole, but hear me out, Anthony. You stirred the pot up really good with this one. So the bride was wearing a used stolen wedding dress and jewelry? I'd start looking for another job if I were you. Adam is going to make your work life a holy hell if he can." The OP responds, "I've been at my job for longer and hold a more senior position compared to him."
So with that being said,
Definitely
you
was
sound
spot
fucking
stirring, like you
childish.
said.
Yeah, you like.
Also, just by the way that they describe Mary, sound like they kind of into Mary. Just gonna point that out to you too. No disrespect to her, that's great. But
I mean, there's something about Mary.
There's something about Mary.
I hate you both so much that y'all made that joke together. You motherfuckers.
Wait till she get comb in her hair.
Well, am I the asshole for leaving my mom's birthday dinner because she called me a gold digger? My boyfriend and I have been dating for 3 years. I have been using the used car my parents gave me when I was 17. It was about 16 years old, and I wanted to buy a new car. My boyfriend on my birthday surprised me by taking me car shopping. We bought a used 2018 Camry for me. It's a lot of money to spend on a birthday gift, but he reassured me it was something he wanted to do for a long time. Last week, I visited Mom for her birthday. She and Dad were hosting a small dinner for just our family. It started off well and everyone was having a good time. My mom brought up my new car and said it was nice. I agreed and talked about how considerate and thoughtful my boyfriend is. But my mom was frowning. My sister joked that people would think I was a gold digger. I wanted to laugh it off, but then my mom started to rant. She said it was very unseemly to accept such a large gift and publicize it. She said people probably are talking about me and laughing about her daughter and how her daughter ended up becoming a gold digger who married someone just for money. I was too shocked to say anything at first, but I realized the things she was saying were really fucked up. My sister was clearly enjoying it, and Dad didn't seem to mind. I told Mom that I didn't have to deal with her bullshit, and I didn't care what others thought of my relationship. I left, even though it says my blank told me not to. It doesn't have anything there. My told me not to leave, and my sister tried to stop me. My sister texted me later that mom was just ranting, and I shouldn't take it seriously, and it ruined the mood when I left. She said I always make everything about myself. I feel like I should have that. There's a lot of like words missing here. This one must have been typing fast. I feel like I should have.
He was fucking upset.
Have had there. I don't know. I feel like I should have there and communicated instead of running away. Maybe I should have stayed there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like I should have stayed there and communicated instead of running away. I know my mom is being awful, but she is a very sensitive person, and someone probably said something to her, and she's just lashing out. Well.
Let's see what they got a highlighted one.
So I scroll down toward the comments. No, not really. Most people are saying not the asshole, but nobody is real. Nothing glow in the darky here. This is more what I thought we'd get a foot in on. I think it's real fucked up for her mom to call her a gold digger, and I mean, I guess technically her sister called her a gold digger, but her mom signed off on that shit post haste. Feel me? And I think that's just extra whack to me.
So like, I'm a little confused. At first, I thought it was a boyfriend, but now it's her husband.
It's her boyfriend. Her mama just made a leap because mamas be leaping sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, dude bought a fucking Camry. Let's just get that out of the way right now. Camrys aren't cheap. Camrys are very reliable cars.
Yes,
but are they luxury cars? No.
If you get the top of the line Camry, it's pretty much the bottom of the line Lexus. So
I understand that, but yet and still a Camry. Still a Camry. Even like, yes, it might be a fully loaded, might have leather seats, but it's still a Camry. Like that just sounds like pure jealousy.
On whose part?
The mom's part and the sister's part. Everybody who mentioned it, like your daughter got, which has always been the car with the highest resale value, and this one of the safest cars in that's made.
Yeah,
he got her pretty much the hug of a car.
Yeah,
a hug car, a car that was like, you know what, I want you to get back and forth to me safely.
Yeah,
like a very loving gift. Wasn't a Lexus. It wasn't a baby mama Beamer. It wasn't a compressor. It wasn't nothing sexy. It was something. It was the car that he might as well have got her a Ford Focus, something safe and reliable. Yeah. And it sounds like everybody in her family were fucking jealous of her. Like, your dad must not have never bought your mama a car with that kind of talk.
Fair point, Daniel.
I don't see how this person could be an asshole, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
I felt like the family were being assholes. I do find it a little weird that a boyfriend would gift someone a car, but I don't know how long they've been in a relationship. Like, maybe, they've been together for 15 years. I don't know.
As stated at the beginning, the first sentence of this, I'm not the asshole, that Dan clearly was not listening to. They've been dating for 3 years.
Okay, yeah, I was definitely tuned out at the beginning.
And not only that, did they say it was a brand new car? They didn't even say it was brand new.
It's a 2018 Toyota Camry.
They super tripping. That just pissed me off even more. That car is 5 years old.
Correct.
Almost. So, or 4 years old. Like, that dude could have been a smart shopper and got it from a friend.
Yeah. Like,
that person's definitely not the asshole. It's little shit like that turns into big shit to make you realize who really got your back in life.
Yeah. And
what if she really is a gold digger and she's just mad that they're calling her out on it?
I don't have anything that can give that away to me, and I'm not gonna make assumptions about nobody. Especially if you're digging for gold, you didn't get gold, you got brass. So your digging is very unsuccessful.
If anything, if she got a gold digger coupon for buy one get a gold digger later. Like definitely not gold digging.
It's a good dude. Props to him for being a good dude and looking out for his lady as best he can. And clearly it's necessary because her family ain't shit.
And obviously they wasn't helping.
Yeah. So there you go. That is Am I the Asshole for this week. I hope you enjoyed whatever we read to you and got some chuckles out. So that's what's up. In the realm of video gamery, I still was playing Death's Door. That game is wild difficult, but I keep playing it, which means either I'm better at video games than I'm giving myself credit for, or I don't know, I'm patient in some way, shape, or form. I've been having a good time with it, and I keep going back to it. I promise you, it took me a good chunk of Saturday to get past this one area of that game, and I kept going back to it. And I finally got past it. I told it, I'm like, I did it. I finally did it, and I'm telling you right now, it took hours for me to pull it off. But I kept wanting to do it because I knew I knew where I was fucking up at, and I knew how to fix it. And like, if I just roll this way before I roll this way. And so it's been very fun to do that. I also jumped back into Ratchet and Clank because I know I'm almost done with it. I'm like, why don't I just finish that up? Did I play anything else? I feel like I jumped on something else. I went and got that Halo battle rifle scan box I told you about the other day. I'm looking at my Xbox app.
Yeah, I think I grabbed that as well.
Yeah.
I haven't been on Halo though all week. Like, we were trying to get enough people together for a tournament on Saturday, but like the two new recruits have been lollygagging on doing their registration, and then the fourth guy that we had, he can't play Saturday,
Okay.
and the other guy he's pretty much saying he can't do the tournament because he wants to watch wrestling. So we're probably not going to be able to do the tournament this Saturday. Because we're gonna be short a couple people, and plus we haven't practiced at all anyway. Like, these people all seem gung ho about it, and then it's been sporadic answers in the Discord. I'm just like, come on, man, y'all! I was excited for this, and y'all dropping the ball.
Oh my goodness. The next gen update for Cyberpunk 2077 was released Tuesday, announced and released Tuesday. And if you don't know, Cyberpunk 2077 was a game that came out from the good people at CD Projekt Red, which is a Polish gaming company. Came out 2020. Yes. And the PC version of it is with the proper hardware was a sight to behold. The console versions were a shit show, basically. So much so that eventually Sony ended up pulling it off of their digital storefront, and CD Projekt Red offered refunds for the game because they focused on the PC version of it, and the console version of it needed a lot more TLC. But they've been working on it this whole time and getting it better bit by bit by bit. But they finally dropped what they call their next gen updates for the game. Meaning, if you already have the game, you can go get a free update for the Series X/S and or the PlayStation 5. I own that game because I bought it because I thought the next gen version was going to come out way sooner than it ended up coming out. So basically, it's been sitting on my shelf, but it is now loaded and on my Xbox. And it'll be the next thing I start fucking with after I finish Death's Door and Ratchet and Clank. And I'm excited to give it a go because it seems like a cool enough game. So I'm ready to get down with that. But I also ended up buying the sequel to what's that game called? Judgment. It's like a Yakuza-like game. Did I tell you about that game, man? I thought we talked about that.
I do have Judgment on PS4.
Yeah, so I got the sequel, Lost Judgment, because GameFly had a sale, and they had it for like $25 the other day. So I ended up buying the sequel to that, and that has also been loaded on the Xbox and is ready for me. So, but I know I'm not ready to take on that particular world yet. I can't wait to play some more Yagami's Adventures, but still. Ant-Man, what you been working on in the realm of video gamery?
Well, I started playing that Horizon game.
Okay.
The first one,
Yeah.
Man, it seemed like I'm at the very beginning, where it's like the little dude that fell off the mountain and you supposed to like sneak over and save him.
Yeah.
I couldn't get through that shit, so I stopped playing it.
Oh, you just stay in the grass.
Yeah, but you gotta cross the river.
Well, at that point, you wait till the watchers just turn their head away and you dip.
Well, I'll start playing that again. But I've spoken about how on PS4 I was playing this Cars game with the boys.
Yeah.
And since we've been playing Mario Kart on the Switch a lot, we and the Switch is upstairs, like the PS4 is downstairs. And since my partner is working and I'm not like she works later than I do, like the boys want to play Mario Kart and they can't, so we picked up the Cars game again. But it's this, like, you can just race regular, but it's this particular part of the game called the playground. And in the Cars movie, like, Mac is the truck that holds Lightning McQueen,
Yeah.
and he's wearing like a trucker hat. And you have to go all around this particular play. It's called the playground, and like Mac's hats are like random places all around the playground. And we have, before today, we have 4 more hats to get. So I got another hat today, and like my kids thought I was the man for like 5 minutes today, and then like I've been just struggling to get these other 3 hats. We know where they are. They're just fucking hard to get. And like I worked on it for like maybe by myself for like 30 minutes today. And like my oldest son was sitting there with me, like watching me do it, and I'm like, I was so close so many times, but no cigar yet. But that's what I was playing mostly today. But I'm still playing Riders Republic on the PS5, and I want to start playing Guardians of the Galaxy. What else was I playing? I played a little bit of Street of Rage 4 because I bought that for the PS4, and it was able to play it on the PS5. So, and what was funny, like you can stream games. I didn't. That's kind of weird. But
yeah, they sell a camera, so if you wanted to, you could be streaming to Twitch and having a good time if you're ever so inclined. We have a channel for that.
Call of Duty every day while I'm working.
You could just sign into I mean, you can have a personal Twitch, but you could definitely sign into this company that we run up others' Twitch and do it there too. So never shake that right there. Y'all all have the option to do that as well. So
yeah, we all have Amazon Prime, so we get Twitch for free, right?
Yeah. Well, you get Twitch Prime.
Twitch is free. Wait, what it is with Prime, you get 1 free sub a month.
Yeah. And you can use that for somebody that you watch on Twitch. So I use mine for the guys that Kind of Funny.
Oh, I use mine for Erica Fett.
There you go. What else she felt about Boba? Anyway, the book of.
She got some bubbles, all right.
Oh, goodness me. I finished Mythic Quest on Apple Plus. Very fun show. 2 seasons of that is up, and I don't know if they have wait for a third season, but it's a very fun show. But I also watched all of the season 1, and I truly think they should stop right there. I have no idea why people are like, you should make more of this. Schmigadoon, which is a Lorne Michaels produced little 6-episode comedy series that is basically these people end up in a town where it's a musical. And they are like, what the fuck is going on? How do we get into this musical? Hilarious. Good time. I very much enjoyed it. Watched all 6 episodes yesterday. So, like I said, it's like 6 30-minute episodes. And I also went back and finished season 2 and actually just the series finale of High Score Girl on Netflix. It's an anime from Japan. High Score Girl has 24 episodes. Great, fantastic. I love that series. And if you fuck with anime and video games, I would tell you to check that out because that's what it's about. It's anime and it's an anime about video games. So there you go. Box, keep grinning over here. What has you so... Dude, what you got you smiling like that?
15 hours ago, Richard Jefferson put up a couple pictures that got taken from him in a GQ photo shoot. And I commented on the post and I said, no wonder that ball boy was peeping game.
Oh, wow.
Oh, my gosh. That little essay you sent us earlier that he did, I mean, it was delightful. It was really a delight. The All-Star game, the NBA All-Star game is here in Cleveland this weekend as we record. And I'm just happy that it's back here. I'm always glad for people to come and visit my town, and hopefully you have a good experience here. So it's a nice town, bro. And we got a lot of stuff going for us.
It's a terrible night tonight though, because it was fucking hailing like an hour and a half ago.
For sure. So I hope you didn't fly into
like
that
10 minutes ago.
Oh, it got to your side of town is all.
Okay.
It finally made its way over.
I was sitting over here earlier before we started recording, and I heard all this tapping, and it sounded like it was in the kitchen. I was like, what the fuck is going on? So I got up and went in there, and I'm like, oh, shit, it's just the hail hitting the house.
Where it's literally just as I hit record, and who knows, I don't if the mic gets good enough, it might have picked it up. Just as we started recording tonight, it started hitting the awnings outside my window behind me. So, yeah.
And it's definitely freezing up out there because I stepped outside for a minute to get the mail a couple hours ago, and I had to yank on the mailbox because it was like solid frozen ice.
Whereas when I took I took the cans out to the curb earlier, and I go to grab the handle, and I guess it had basically what had developed little icicles across it, so I grab it, and all the icicles are stabbing my hand. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm it's just a layer of hard ass ice across my garbage and recycle bins. Horse shit, people. Shit.
I might after we get done recording, I might go out and salt the driveway, or at least the walkway, so the mailman don't fall.
We're supposed to get 1 to 3 inches of snow tonight too.
Jesus fucking Christ!
I mean,
it's supposed to warm up in the middle of the week, though, right? Actually, early in the week.
It's supposed to this weekend. Yeah, it's supposed to hit the 50s again this weekend.
Oh, my high school best friend is coming into town over the next couple of days. And here's what he tells me, and I'm going to explain to you all, and we'll work from there. His son, if I'm not mistaken, is the age of my daughter, or my I don't know what to call my kid no more. I'm sorry, people. So I still refer to them as daughter because that is what they have been in my life. If I am wrong, you correct me. But whatever. But has a girlfriend in Parma. And so he's like, well, fuck it. My dad, his father, who just recently retired, has moved back up here to Ohio because his wife is from Ohio and has people up here. So if anything, my man's pop is up here, and so he's like, fuck
recently
it, I'll
retired. Is this guy rich?
His dad. His dad recently retired. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So his dad
leisure.
So he's coming to visit his father, but also his kid has a girlfriend here. And I'm like, that's what be going down in this day and age. You could just live somewhere else and have a girlfriend several states away.
My girlfriend lived where my grandma stayed.
But I'm
hose.
I'm a link up with him, and I was just like, hey man, you want to record a show? So if we can make something happen, we might have an early record next week. I will try to give y'all as much heads up as I can, and so forth and so on. And we might, like I said, try. I might try to bring my man's over to, around your way, Box, and we'll drop a cipher right quick. And y'all can ask about me as a youngin in Atlanta, Georgia. My man still calls me Terry, and I laugh about it because I've not been Terry since high school. And so I'm like, yeah, that's what you know me as. So I guess that is what it is.
What? I always heard it because the one guy who worked at the hotel near our job used to say it every day. What's up, Terry?
Yeah.
So did he know you from Cleveland or from Atlanta?
He had to know me from Atlanta. It had to have been. There's no way. And I can't call it. Truly, I can't call it, man. So I had to chuckle at that. But if anything, like I said, I'm off Monday because it's President's Day, but I also took Tuesday off. I was like, cool, man, we'll just link up. We'll figure it out. So I get to hang with my high school best friend, and that's sure. Either he gonna be on the show with us, or I'll tell the tale of kicking it with him on the show next week. There you go, people. It's
Is
that's
that
how that goes down.
the guy you watched had the Down and Out Beverly Hills porno? Suck Mr. Wiggly.
No, that's my man. That's my man. God rest Chuck D.
Okay.
Yeah. So but I did steal a porno magazine club, if you know, for the gentlemen, from a bodega. Oh, not a bodega. I would call it a bodega now, but from a convenience store near us when I was in high school. In high school, by putting it in the Sunday paper and then buying the Sunday paper and leaving the store. And I did give my man one of those ill-gotten magazines.
So when you stole it, was it like one of those ones that had like 3 different ones in one plastic package?
Nah, it was just an issue of club.
Oh.
Also, twice at that same store, I got caught trying to steal that. What I'm saying, and in both cases, I'm just outright denied it. How dare you think I'm stealing from you? What are you talking about? Because motherfuckers
I am a taxpayer.
But you know what it is, man. Wherever possible, please rate, review, subscribe, and share the show. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, it stays Crunchy, our Twitch channel, it stays Crunchy and Milk, and over on Twitter, it's Skimpod, SKIMPOD. If you want to support the show financially, got a few bucks tossed away, join us over on Patreon. We're members at the $5 and above tier, get extra content each month and early access to new shows. We also have merch available over on tpublic.com/user/stage Crunchy Milk, all one word. Feel free to give us a call at 216-264-6311. That's 216-264-6311. We'd certainly love to hear from you. And you can also give us an email over at podcast at stagecrunchyMilk.com. And one such thing has occurred from our favorite listener, April. And this is actually, had I looked before we got off last week, I would have read this to her. But hey, it is what it is. Title of this email is Crunchy Gang Gang. And it says, I love how you guys will say random stuff and memories of it will flood my mind. The recess episode was relevant because I have driven a school bus and I have worked at elementary schools, and there are some random, unpredictable, unruly, loving children. I love that show, and my favorite, the episode was when Ashley found out Spinelli was an Ashley too.
Yes, that is a good ass episode.
Also, when you guys talked about the Christmas shows, and I wore this to work and no one got it, these ignorant, uncouth youths, Heat Miser and Snow Miser. I love that Tatum's kids enjoyed it. Did anyone see the show where the mouse got an entire town off of Santa's list? It's called The Night Before Christmas, and I watched it and got pissed off. How can an entire town get banned from a mouse writing a letter? And the mouse was arrogant as hell, too. Yes, Father, I wrote the letter. He needed to find a cat to torture him. Admire the guest this week. Chaffee is a fascinating and amusing and in a wise way. The teacher sexually assaulting the student was not where I thought you were taking me with the names. Rather, you found another avenue of contention that I agree with as well. Love you guys, April B. And April sent us a shirt that is so. I'm gonna send y'all this picture. Let me see if I can save image as, and I will throw it in the. I wonder if I can just open that bitch, open image in a new tab, and send y'all a link. I don't think the link will work because it'll probably be the. We will attempt it, and if not, I'll just send it to you. But it's a pretty dope shirt.
Thank you. We appreciate the feedback, April, and we love you too.
Always, it's like you're the best. Y'all let me know if you could open this, paste, send, and if you can't, no worries. Well, I will send the actual picture itself.
Nope, it confused the fuck out of my computer. But we'll open it up another way.
All to the good. I will send you guys that. I'll just forward the email, and then the attachments are there for it. There you go. No worries. Thanks again, April, for hitting us up and showing love. You are so dope, and I appreciate you more than you would know, because I just, you know what I'm saying, you're constantly out there spreading the good word of scam, and you too should be and could be doing the same. If you see us tweeting, retweet it. If you see us on the old Instagrams, please share it there, and please go follow us over on TikTok. I guess I need to add that to the old repertoire because we out here ticking, talking, all that there, and it's dope to do that. Our missing man
ain't no stopping.
Our missing man tonight is the real ODP. Send him some love. Just tell him what's good, because you know what I'm saying, that way he's not fighting racists all the time on Twitter. Although somebody got to do it, so why not him?
do like every good relationship. Send him some love and let him reject it.
That's Tatum 216.
Yes.
That's Lunchbox 2099.
Still thinking about that poop.
It was a damn good poop, wasn't it? I know.
It's the kind of poop that dreams are made of.
The dream poop. And I am the Interstate 713. You've just been podcast 2. I hope you loved it.
I have a dream that all my little children have the most righteous poop on the mountaintop. I have a dream that knows Dookie splashes their buttocks.
Bye, y'all. Peace.